This is Daniel Bryan, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
What's going on, y'all? This is WWE superstar Kofi Kingston, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hello, everyone. This is Raymond Rougeau, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Aw, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. Here on TSN 690 every Saturday night, talking professional wrestling. The Royal Rumble is tomorrow night.
Can't wait.
I mean, it is upon us. WWE's Royal Rumble tomorrow night. We are less than 24 hours away. Right after the Rumble, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. It's the place to be for Dave and Johnny Live. And all the shows, if you missed any episode of Wrestling Uncensored or Ringside Report Radio, they always go up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. And Johnny and I will be live right after the Royal Rumble.
On YouTube.
On YouTube. You'll be able to see us. You'll be able to comment. A big show coming up for you Sunday right after the Rumble on our YouTube channel. I mean, the Rumble's big, but the Rumble post show featuring me and Johnny North, I mean, that's way bigger.
It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. Usually the Rumble is one of the best pay-per-views of the year. I'm really looking forward to this. After the Rumble, I'm usually really excited because I'm usually find that's one of the best matches you see all year.
Yeah, it's always an exciting match, and it's very important. It determines so much. The 30-man and 30-woman, 2 over-the-top rope battle royals, right? 2 people start every 90 seconds or 2 minutes. Somebody else comes in until all 30 have come in. It's over-the-top rope elimination. You know the rules to the Royal Rumble. I don't know why I'm explaining this to you. I think we all know the rules. Can we get Howard Finkel in here to do it?
You could have new listeners. You never know.
Yeah, maybe people that don't know the rules to the Royal Rumble. And the most impressive part about the Royal Rumble, the most important part, is that if you win, you go to the main event of WrestleMania.
A main event. But okay.
A main event of WrestleMania. You get to challenge for the championship of your choice.
Pretty sweet. Either brand, too. It doesn't matter if you're on Raw or SmackDown.
That's right. It's like a golden ticket. You win the Royal Rumble, and you're some guy on Raw, you can challenge the world champion from SmackDown. If you are Ronald Truth, and you're the 30th entrant, as a matter of fact, R-Truth will be the 30th entrant in this year's male Royal Rumble. Carmella, the 30th in the female Royal Rumble. They won that in the Mixed Match Challenge. If you're R-Truth, you could win the Rumble and challenge Brock Lesnar. Although he said he probably wouldn't challenge Brock Lesnar. He was talking about it on SmackDown this week. R-Truth says he's going to challenge Bobby Murphy, the Cruiserweight champion. And then Carmella had to correct him and tell him the guy's name was Buddy Murphy.
And also correct him about his weight. And then he got mad because she was insinuating that he's fat.
Yeah, that's right. Because Truth wanted to challenge for the Cruiserweight title. Carmella informed him there was a 205-pound weight limit. And Truth thought that Carmella was calling him fat. Which, you know, he's not. He's just big.
He is a big guy.
Yeah, he's a big guy. I don't think he could hit that weight limit.
A little too much.
I don't know, though. How tall is Truth?
I feel Truth's in that 6'3", 6'2" area.
Yeah, it'll be tough.
And I feel like he's not too much over 205. He's probably like 215 something. But
so maybe he could do it. Drop the weight, Truth. Go for it.
I wouldn't do it if I was him.
So R-Truth, he's the 30th entrant in the Rumble. He's definitely not going to win, but there's just so much on the line, so much at stake in this match. Such an important match because it determines who challenges for these big championships at WrestleMania, and that's what it's all about. That's what the whole year is all about in the WWE. It's about challenging for the title at WrestleMania. It's about being in one of those big title matches at WrestleMania. Your entire year is geared to this one event. There are big matches along the way, but there's nothing bigger. The goal for everybody is WrestleMania.
It's funny how you hype this up, but neither Rumble winner last year won at WrestleMania. So it kind of makes it seem like, yeah, you're building all this up, but you could easily fail, much like they both did last year.
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter. They still got the spot on the card. It's not about whether you win or lose. It's about being in that spot. They've won the Rumble. That's a victory in itself.
It's big, but most people win. I mean, if you lose, you're kind of like tainted in a sense where it's like, wow, you're one of those losers, like a very select group of losers.
I guess.
It's a rough way of looking at it, but it's true.
I remember Shinsuke winning the Rumble more than him losing to AJ.
No, I remember him losing to AJ because he lost to AJ like 4 or 5 times after that.
I just remember him punching AJ in the balls.
The heel turn was good, but unfortunately, it didn't. It just led to a U.S. title reign, which he's already lost.
And where's Shinsuke now? Shinsuke Nakamura goes from winning the Royal Rumble last year to being on the pre-show challenging Rusev for the United States Championship in a match that I think neither of us think he will win. I don't think anybody thinks Shinsuke is going to take the U.S. title back here from Rusev.
No, I think Lana's probably going to come back, maybe provide a bit of a distraction, and that's going to help Rusev win.
And it's not really a match that anyone cares about. Shinsuke goes in a year's time from a big spot winning the whole thing to now in a really inconsequential match with Rusev. And his whole U.S. title reign has been, completely useless. They've really done nothing with Nakamura for several months now. Most of the year, since that AJ Styles run and that program for the title, they've done nothing with him.
Well, you yourself have said on the air and on Twitter that you think Nakamura is more than likely going back to Japan when his contract runs out.
Well, why wouldn't he? Or AEW? At this point in the wrestling business, there are a lot of options, and they're very interesting.
All right, but
a lot of pro wrestlers are looking at the landscape and rethinking things.
I can't imagine he's making bad money, though. And it's not a bad life being on, pay-per-view every, month. I mean, maybe he's not in the number one spot, but he's still there.
Yeah. It's fun to be in the number one spot, though.
Well,
it's fun to be creatively fulfilled, too.
Yeah, it'd be great. I mean, is that what he wants, though? At this point in his career, does he want that? Does he need that?
We'll see. We'll see as soon as his contract runs out or whatever happens with Nakamura. I'd probably wait until after Mania. I don't know when his contract is up, but I don't know. I'm not impressed with what the WWE has done with a talent like Nakamura. I feel like they could do way more with him, but what are you going to do? The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro, defending the tag team championships from SmackDown against The Miz and Shane McMahon. This is a tag team now, and they're challenging for the championships. I said from the start, as soon as this match was made, that for sure Miz and Shane are going to win these tag team titles. Cesaro wrestled The Miz on SmackDown this week, beat him after a neutralizer and some interference from Sheamus. Shane McMahon didn't like that interference, attacking Sheamus after the match, but he got taken out. The Bar winds up beating up Miz and Shane, and then Sheamus hit Shane with a really solid brogue kick. Did you see that? That was nice.
That was nice. The table spot I thought was the best.
Yeah.
Man, Shane got some great height on that.
It was a good beating.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But I think it also just furthers the case that it seems that Shane and Miz are going to win because they took such a beating. So they're probably not going to win, but they are going to win.
The beating reminded me of how physically outmatched Miz and Shane are.
Right.
Like, my goodness.
They should be considered the underdogs.
They should be considered huge underdogs. Look at Sheamus and Cesaro. These guys are monsters. Miz and Shane really should have no chance against these two guys. They're savages. They're big. They're strong. They're violent. These guys are awesome. They're a great tag team. They're very solid. They're underrated. And they're probably going to lose the belts to this weirdo tag team in Miz and Shane. I don't like it. I don't really care, Whatever.
I kind of want to see where they're going with the Miz and Shane. I mean, win or lose, Miz and Shane, that's continuing. Whether they're going to be feuding or they're going to be champs for a little bit. I feel that because there's so much time between now and WrestleMania, give them a little bit of a title run together, and we'll see where that goes.
A title run till Mania, them walking into Mania as champions?
Why not?
Against what? The Usos? And the New Day? And the Bar in a fatal 4-way tag team match?
You overpack WrestleMania, but that's one way to do it.
I mean, we usually see one of those fatal 4-way tag team title matches at Mania, don't we?
Raw or SmackDown, yeah. Something like that's going to go down. I imagine that could very well happen. But I'd rather them focus on just one team. Something like the New Day would be interesting.
But they're both babyface tag team. Miz and Shane against the New Day. Doesn't really work.
I think it could work. I think Miz and Shane could be heels. They can make that work. Because Miz is still hateable.
Yeah, for sure.
You could easily spin it that way.
I don't know. I don't know where they're going with it. I don't really care. It's kind of disappointing to me that the SmackDown tag division has gone from very legitimate, where it was, a couple months ago, was the Bar, the Usos, the New Day having kick-ass triple threat matches.
Right.
And now the Usos are relegated to kind of being Naomi's backup in a feud with Mandy Rose to put her over. And the New Day is just cutting little promos here and there on SmackDown. They're barely on the show. You got the two best tag teams in the world, or at least in the WWE. Shout out to the Young Bucks. And this is what you're doing with them. The Usos and the New Day are just kind of background characters because Miz and Shane have to be featured in the tag team division. And if you did more with the Usos and New Day as tag teams, because, that's what they are, people will be like, well, why are Miz and Shane getting these shots here? This doesn't make sense. So you've had to kind of scale them back so you could feature Miz and Shane. But, you just killed the legitimacy of your tag team division. You had a really good division going, and then all of a sudden it's kind of like, oh, it's this Miz-Shane thing.
I think they just changed it up, really. I mean, how many times does it need to be Usos, New Day, Bar? I think the club did the same promo. It's always the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And
what happened to them?
Well, yeah,
Where are they at?
They're still lower down the card, but they were right. It just, they weren't the team that they wanted. They wanted someone like the Miz and Shane, who are more over than the club and the Colognes. And it's different.
Sure. It is different, and on the other hand, you could see it maybe for the Bar, where, wrestling the New Day and the Usos is cool, but they're walking into the Royal Rumble with a match against Shane McMahon, which is not something, Cesaro really doesn't have a shot to wrestle Shane McMahon in any other circumstance but this. They're never going to book a one-on-one Cesaro or Sheamus versus Shane McMahon match, but now, they get to work a little program with Shane McMahon, who is, I guess you could call him a legend in the business. He's been around for so long. He's had some pretty awesome matches. He's not bad. He used to be pretty good.
I think he's still pretty good. It's just he's not as good as he used to be, but that's what happens when you get older.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still an attraction. When he comes out, he gets still one of the largest ovations of anyone on the roster.
Yeah. He's Vince's only son.
Right. And
product of the grapefruits. That's right. The grapefruits.
He's had matches that have been some of the best matches in WWE.
Yeah. His match with AJ Styles at WrestleMania a couple years ago stole the show.
There's that. The Kurt Angle match he had. Remember a match he had with Steve Blackman.
Are you talking about King of the Ring, way back?
Yeah,
Kurt Angle?
2001, yeah.
Yeah.
He's had historic matches.
But more recently, he's had some pretty good stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
his Hell in a Cell match with Kevin Owens was tremendous.
That was great. Yes.
Tremendous.
I remember the match with I think Big Show he had too, when he jumped off like the whole stage set and Backlash. That was nuts.
Yeah, Shane has done some crazy things.
And I look forward to hopefully maybe the Rumble he's going to do something crazy again. You never know. That's the fun part about Shane.
When was it that Shane, he jumped? It was a match and he got, knocked out. Somebody hit him with...
Survivor Series.
Was it Roman who hit him with that spear? Somebody hit him
Something like that, yeah. Roman hit him with the spear.
Was it Roman that hit him and knocked him out?
Yeah. Clunked his head.
That was nasty.
It was nasty because they didn't even pin him right because he couldn't stay down flat. But they just said he's eliminated and he wasn't even pinned. So you could tell that's really bad.
Yeah, it was bad. So Miz and Shane are going to win the tag belts, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Might start the show even.
How about Ronda Rousey and Sasha Banks? Ronda and Natty had a tag team match this week in the main event of Monday Night Raw against Sasha and Bayley. And Sasha and Bayley won. Which is not often that you see Ronda on the losing end of anything.
It's her first loss.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm surprised they didn't.
I was surprised.
They should have hyped this more.
Yeah, she's never lost anything, right? Her tag team matches usually end with Ronda armbarring somebody. I figured Ronda would armbar Bayley.
Right.
And that would be the match.
Exactly, yeah.
But no, Sasha gets Natty to tap to the bank statement. And, Natty loses for the team, but still Ronda on the losing end of a match. And yeah, I think you're right. It is her first loss in WWE?
It is. It is, and I'm surprised on Raw they didn't
Wow.
acknowledge this whatsoever because that's a major, major milestone here that happened. And it's cool that they put Sasha over like this. I feel it was done more for Sasha and Bayley as a team. Because I think more than likely they're going to become the tag team champions.
I would make them the first ever women's tag team champions.
Right. Sasha's not going to beat Ronda at the Rumble. It's not going to happen, but they at least showed that as a tag team they could beat anybody, even Ronda.
Yes. I like that. And I like that Sasha got some over before the match with Ronda because it's good to keep Sasha looking somewhat strong, even though she has no chance of beating Ronda here at the Rumble.
Now, how much of that match was blacked out for you?
A good chunk.
A good chunk, okay.
Yeah, Sasha goes up, looked like she was going to do a Hurricane Rana or something, and then the screen goes to black. From what I understand, it's because she had a malfunction with her trunks.
It came down, yeah.
And her butt was exposed.
Right.
So they blacked out the screen because her butt was exposed. Which, I remember seeing Rick Rude and Shawn Michaels' butts a lot when I was a kid. I didn't enjoy it, and I was really confused. There's one match where, Shawn Michaels' butt is exposed for a long time.
That's a planned spot. He did that on purpose all the time.
Yeah, he would just show his butt on TV constantly. And it was weird. But Sasha's butt gets shown, and I didn't see anything. I didn't see it once, which whatever. It's a different age. I don't know. Whatever.
Well,
but I just kind of missed some of the match. I was like, "What's going on? What happened?" It was more of that. I was like, "Well, what happened here in this spot?" I was watching this match. I was enjoying the match. I don't care if her ass is out or anything. I just want to see what happens next in the match. Show me the next move. It's not going to titillate me. I'm trying to watch this wrestling match,
Right, but, they had the 7-second delay, and they were able to stop it, so they did,
Yeah, that's fine, I guess.
It's a PG show, that's it. So they had to.
Well, they should get their technology up and figure out a way to blur things on the fly.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Blur it instead of blacking it out so I at least see something.
Or at least pan away or something, and then go back quickly when you can. Or go to a different,
Didn't commentary stop, too? At least keep commentary going so we could hear what's going on. Something.
I think they just cut everything
Yeah,
off.
they just cut.
They just cut, wow.
It's come on, man. Sasha Banks' butt gets exposed and, the whole show comes to a grinding halt. It's what happened? I don't know. It's weird. we get the Alexa Bliss thing. You can see her back, and you know
that's fine.
But you go lower than the back, it's like whoa, stop the whole show.
Yep,
it's so weird. What a weird world, eh? Just like it's like no one's ever seen a butt before. You know, they all pretty much look the same.
The thing is, it's an accident, too. I mean, this wasn't intentional. So I feel like this kind of thing you can kind of let slide a bit, you know? Or just, you know, different a camera angle, not shut everything down.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. And, of course, weirdos on the internet were like, oh, man, I wanted to see Sasha's ass. It's like, all right, calm down, you know?
Like, she wears something
yeah, look at her
like,
trunks. Like she's, come on. Like, settle down. God. People on the internet.
When you wear something like that, too, the trunks, I mean, it doesn't leave much to the imagination, by the way.
It's just odd to me, the guys that would make that comment publicly. Like, oh, man, I really wanted to see. It's like, really? You're going to say that to the whole world? You're going to be like, I am a pervert man, and I'm going to say these things out there.
No shame.
Yeah, people have no shame. It's just bizarre what people put out there in the universe. That's another story, though. Daniel Bryan.
Oh, it's totally changing gears.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan. So Sasha has no chance, right?
No, Ronda's winning.
Does AJ Styles have a chance here in the WWE Championship match with Daniel Bryan? Daniel Bryan is not the People's Champion. He is the Planet's Champion. And he cut an incredible promo once again on Raw this week that got the attention of people beyond the wrestling world, of like academics. Daniel Bryan is on a different level because, as Bryan said, AJ Styles makes the people laugh, but Daniel Bryan makes the people think and feel bad about themselves. And you know what? He does. He does. He makes me think about things, about certain choices that I'm making. Make better choices.
You haven't changed those choices.
You don't know that.
Are you still having hot dogs?
That's a different story. I haven't had a hot dog in months.
Okay.
How about that? Not to say I wouldn't.
Right.
But maybe less about the... You know, Look, Daniel Bryan is presenting a lot of interesting theories. The meat-eating thing and the factory farming, I understand. I feel bad about it. When he talks about it, it makes me think, and it does make me feel bad about it because I like to eat meat. I'm not a vegetarian or vegan, but I'm not ready to change because I like it too much. I like a burger, I like a steak, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Now, the way that meat shows up to me, that I worry about, and it's hard to get organic, humanely grown meat, you know?
Yes.
It's difficult. But when he talks about it, I think about it. And it makes me want to do something. And when he talks about consumption, about consuming things and wasting and how everything's wasteful and we consume all this stuff, it does make me think. And I think I have reduced my consumption because of some of the things that he's been saying. Because he's right. We do consume too much. There is too much waste in our world of plastics and things like that. So, yeah, I'm with Daniel Bryan on a lot of these things. And he does make me think. And I think he is changing the way people are thinking. And if he can have an impact on 1% of wrestling fans, that's a good thing. He is the planet's champion, and I applaud him for what he's doing. And I see AJ Styles as the bad guy. Isn't AJ Styles a flat earther? Doesn't he think the earth is flat? Isn't he one of those guys?
I think that was a joke.
Was it, though?
I'm pretty sure that was a joke.
Was it, though?
I feel like it was.
I see Vince and AJ as the bad guys.
You see Vince, of course, is the bad guy, because Vince is the bad guy.
Vince is a bad guy. What are you talking about, pal? I'm a great guy. I'm Vince McMahon. But that promo that Bryan cut on Vince and his entire generation for putting wealth over the planet, for putting wealth over people, for hoarding all the wealth, giving the people Instagram likes. Vince got real mad. Get in the ring, damn it! I'm not going to tell you again, this is a face-off in the ring. It's supposed to be in the ring. And Bryan just refused to get into the ring. And then AJ Styles chased him, and they fought a little bit. And then Bryan rolled into the ring. AJ jumped up to do his springboard forearm.
Right.
Bryan hides behind Vince. AJ stops his jump. He doesn't hit Vince. And then Bryan, from behind Vince, hits AJ with the knee and then runs away. And that's how the segment ended. Tremendous promo from Daniel Bryan. AJ, didn't really say much.
I thought AJ had a great line when he's talking to Bryan about, you didn't ride your bike to the show. You were in a plane to get here. I thought that was a great line.
So?
Well, Daniel Bryan's a bit of a hypocrite.
Well, what's he supposed to do? How's he supposed to get from point A to point B? He has no other option.
No, he doesn't. But still.
You can't ride a bike, when you're not in the city that... he's not in the city that he knows. He's in a foreign town. They're in, Wichita or whatever. It looked like it was snowing out there, too.
It was.
And, of course, you got to get to a plane because you have job obligations. You have to show up to the building in time. There's no other way to do it.
He's part of the problem. Daniel Bryan's part of the problem. He's creating a lot of that waste as WWE champion.
Yeah, okay. Sure. But they all are. A lot of people do that. And sure, and I'm sure he feels bad about it. But that's the thing, You can limit your carbon footprint, but still have one. There's nothing you can do. As a human, you're going to create waste. It's going to happen. It's very difficult not to. But what he's saying is try to limit that and try to do the best you can. And that's what he does. And that's what you should do, too. You should do, too, Johnny North. It's up to you now, Captain Planet.
See, that'd be hilarious if he had a T-shirt like that. But he doesn't even believe in T-shirts anymore, so.
He doesn't believe in T-shirts? He seems to wear T-shirts.
But there's his own T-shirt. It's not made by WWE T-shirts, isn't
That's
it?
right. He's not wearing his WWE shirt. He doesn't want you to buy that shirt.
Right.
So I haven't, out of respect.
Yeah, it's odd.
There's no way AJ beats him, though, right? Come on. This can't end now. It's too good. It's groundbreaking stuff. Daniel Bryan is changing what a professional wrestling promo is. No one's ever done this before. People are saying this is like CM Punk. It's not. This is different.
Yeah, I don't feel CM Punk whatsoever by this, but all right. Maybe just because he's saying something different, I guess that's why they feel like it's Punk. I'm just saying that...
It seems like a non-traditional style promo.
Okay. But I feel like this is totally different because this is against, ethics, where that was against, wrestling, the way wrestling was going. It's different.
He had a straight edge thing, too.
Yeah, that, too. He threw that in a bit.
Just heel Punk.
Right. But I also find that with AJ, who's to say they can't just flip-flop the title, this could go on for a little bit. Why not? You have a couple pay-per-views for WrestleMania. Who's to say AJ can't win and lose it back to Daniel Bryan?
I don't want to. Daniel Bryan said he's going to be champion forever.
Forever doesn't always last forever.
Yeah, well, it should be. I don't want AJ to win the title back. There's no need. Especially if they're going to flip it back to Bryan. What's the point? Just keep him with the title so he can have some momentum going into WrestleMania.
Well, to me, this is the most intriguing match to watch because where are these guys going to WrestleMania? To me, that's the most important part. Their matches, their route to WrestleMania. Their matches are the most important, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Who's Daniel Bryan going to wrestle? Who's AJ going to wrestle?
I don't know who either guy is going to wind up wrestling.
That's the fun part about this.
I really, I wonder. It's a tough one. I don't think they're going to wind up wrestling each other at WrestleMania.
Unfortunately.
I don't think that's unfortunate. We've seen the match so many times. You really want to see it at the Rumble and then again at Mania?
We haven't had any gimmick matches yet with them. You could still do it.
Like no DQ or something at Mania? Street fight?
It has to be a street fight, but it can't use a lot of waste, right? It has to use, like, recycled stuff, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you destroy a chair, it's completely wasteful.
Right, so it has to be a recycled chair, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I wonder if Daniel Bryan wants to break tables anymore.
It'd be interesting.
That'd be funny if he's like, I'm not breaking any tables. I'm not putting anybody through tables anymore because, you know.
It's good heat.
It is good heat. He's tremendous. This gimmick is so good. That's why it can't end. I think he beats AJ Styles, and then, you know, you move on. They find a number one contender at Elimination Chamber or something. Or look, I would like to see the New Day win the Royal Rumble, and then they face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. I think it's unlikely.
Well, we've said already, Seth Rollins is going to win the Rumble, right? Like
we assume Seth Rollins is going to win the Rumble, right?
So
we
SmackDown has to wait for Elimination Chamber.
And then Seth Rollins would go on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Right.
I could see Braun Strowman also winning the Rumble and facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Braun Strowman is probably going to be in the Rumble. He's able to compete. He wrestled Finn Balor on Raw this week, which was interesting because we found out, like, Braun wasn't taken out of that match with Brock at the Rumble because he's not able to wrestle. He was taken out because it was a creative decision to put Finn in there instead. So Braun wrestled Finn this week. Obviously, he can wrestle. I could see him winning the Rumble, and they push the Braun-Brock thing to WrestleMania. I think Seth or Braun are options to win the Rumble. I'd love to see the New Day win it. I think it's possible. Anything's possible, but it's unlikely.
They have a better shot inside the Elimination Chamber, in my opinion. Because at least in that, if there's three of them inside there, your chances are pretty good then.
Yeah, if they could work that somehow.
Well, I imagine one of them is going to make it to qualify for the match.
Do you think that's where we're headed, where it'll be a Raw WrestleMania challenger determined by the Royal Rumble and a SmackDown WrestleMania challenger determined by the Elimination Chamber?
I feel that's the way it's going because we already have one Elimination Chamber set, right, with the women's tag team titles. So I feel the second Elimination Chamber is going to be for the SmackDown WWE Championship number one contender.
It would make sense, but who will be that SmackDown number one contender? And will they be facing Daniel Bryan? I think they will. I think it'll be Daniel Bryan as champion walking into WrestleMania. I think Bryan beats AJ Styles and holds the title to Mania. I'm not sure how he beats AJ, though, at the Rumble. Like, does he beat him clean?
He beat him with a small package at TLC, so, I mean, it could be something like that. You
Yeah.
know, just a sneaky win.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be pretty, just got to win.
And then who does he face at WrestleMania? I don't know. I mean, we came up with a lot of different options. We talked about it on Dave and Johnny Live yesterday. Randy Orton we put out as an option. He came in. Rey Mysterio and Andrade Cien Almas had a tremendous match in the main event of SmackDown again this week. Tremendous match.
Yep.
It was a 2 out of 3 falls. They had one fall apiece, and then Samoa Joe came out, beat up both guys. Joe had a pretty good match that he won against Mustafa Ali on SmackDown this week, too.
He did, yeah.
So Joe comes out, and he's, you know, trying to terrorize SmackDown and say he's winning the Royal Rumble. So he beats up Andrade and Rey, and the match just ends. And then Randy Orton comes out, and he hits RKO on Samoa Joe, which made me think, uh-oh, are they gearing up Randy for a Rumble win or a big run? And maybe Randy goes up against Daniel Bryan at Mania.
He's in the mix, without question.
John Cena, you know, the feud makes a lot of sense. Bryan's married to Brie Bella. Nikki Bella is Brie's twin sister. Cena and Nikki aren't together anymore. Daniel Bryan hates people that waste, and, you know, John Cena's always coming out with new T-shirts to sell to the people and talk about hoarding the wealth. You know, Cena is this big rich guy. There's a lot of stuff that Bryan could say about John Cena. The program kind of writes itself going into Mania. That's a great option. I'd say that'd be option number one. Option number 2, I think, would be Undertaker. There could be some sort of deal with Kane. Undertaker could come save Kane from a Daniel Bryan attack, and then boom, we have Taker and Bryan, and there's a lot of good stuff that Bryan could say about Undertaker. That would be good. And then I don't know. And then it's kind of, different things that WWE might want to do. I feel like Taker and Cena aren't really what WWE is going to do, even though it makes sense. I don't know if they have that much invested in Daniel Bryan where they want to showcase him that much. I don't know. It's odd the way he's treated. I don't know if they'll feature him in a big way, right? I don't know.
Well, just at one point we had The Rock scheduled for Mania, right? To wrestle Roman. So what if they just decide, well, we had The Rock scheduled to wrestle, we'll just put him against Daniel Bryan. That'd be pretty incredible, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could do that.
Okay. Let's do that.
But
that's great. I like that. No. Stop talking. Let's do that.
So he's going to win the Rumble?
No, he'll just show up.
The Elimination Chamber?
No, he'll just show up on SmackDown. I'm The Rock. Daniel Bryan, you're a jabroni.
Well, because he said he's not the People's Champion, so, I mean, he did somewhat
there you go.
throw a little thing in there, so why not?
Daniel Bryan, you say you're not the People's Champ? Well, I am the People's Champ. The Rock says...
This is Rock 99. It's not Rock 99
anymore. Sorry. That's the Rock I like.
Where's the Cookie Puss?
No, that's my Rock impression. My Rock impression is old school Rock. Daniel Bryan, know your role and shut your mouth. No?
I like it. But
that's my favorite Rock.
That's old school Rock with the sunglasses, still had hair and, the $200 jacket kind of shirt kind of thing.
That's when he was good.
Well, that's when he was cutting edge.
That's when he was the man.
I mean, he wasn't as jacked, though, so that says something. When you're jacked, you're even better.
Daniel Bryan, I'm going to take that WWE Championship, turn that sumbitch sideways, and stick it straight up your candy ass!
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm sure he'll say that. He still says that stuff.
Does he, though?
I think he's a little bit...
Barely even does the eyebrow anymore. He's not The Rock I know and love. Just bring back the classics. Next time you come out, Dwayne, just give me the old school Rock stuff, Tell people to know their role and shut their mouth. Tell them you're going to layeth the smacketh down upon their candy ass.
I did like that he had a bunch of things trending worldwide. He would just make up stuff.
Yeah, but they were all weird and just kind of trying to relive the old Rock stuff, and it didn't work. Rock Daniel Bryan for WrestleMania, though, I'm totally down with that. Let's do that. Highly unlikely, but why not? Let's go. I don't know what they do with Daniel Bryan. I'm very much interested in what happens with Daniel Bryan. Everything else, I kind of got it figured already.
What else is there at this point? Well, we have Asuka against Becky Lynch. Okay.
Yeah. Let's get to that when we come back. It's TSN 690. It's Wrestling Uncensored. A short pause here. We're going to tell you who's going to win the Rumble, and we will also tell you if Finn Balor has a shot against Brock Lesnar. And will the man regain the championship against Asuka? Stay with us.
This is Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Christopher Daniels, and the gospel according to the fallen angel says that you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is the website. Here on TSN 690 every Saturday night, talking professional wrestling. WWE Royal Rumble is tomorrow night. The road to WrestleMania truly begins after the Rumble. That's really when we're on that path where we know what some of the matches are going to be. Right now, we know of 0 matches happening at WrestleMania, officially. After the Rumble, we'll know at least 1 or 2.
Well, this is my feeling how WrestleMania is going to play out. I think it's going to be Ronda versus Charlotte versus Becky. Undisputed Women's Championship match.
Undisputed?
Yes. I think they unify the Raw and SmackDown women's titles.
Cool.
I think Charlotte, when she wins the Rumble, They're going to ask her, who do you want to wrestle? And she's going to say both. And in order to solve this, they're going to have a unification match at WrestleMania. And that way you get everything. You'll get Ronda, you'll get Becky, you get Charlotte. Winner wins it all.
The tag team titles seem to be like they're going to be unified.
Right. So it just makes sense. It's what should happen. Hopefully it happens for the other titles too, like the tag team titles. Like, we don't need an Intercontinental title and U.S. title. I think just unify it to one. That's fine. I don't know if that will happen, but I think with the women, I feel like we're at least going towards that direction. It just makes the most sense to go this way.
Does it?
Well, it makes everyone happy, right? You get Becky against Ronda. You get Ronda versus Charlotte, and you get it all put into one, and one becomes the undisputed champion. Okay. It's a great main event, in my opinion.
But then that undisputed champion has to show up on Raw and SmackDown.
Right. So if Ronda's leaving, it's not going to be Ronda.
No. And apparently the rumor is Ronda may be leaving after WrestleMania, so you'd either put Becky or Charlotte over as the top women's wrestler, probably Becky, I would say.
You would think, right? I don't know.
I would hope.
I would not be shocked.
No disrespect to Charlotte Flair. She's tremendous, but it's Becky's time.
Right, but it always seems that Charlotte wins all the time, and she put over Becky a lot. You know, now you kind of return the favor kind of thing, and now Charlotte goes over.
Yeah.
You're upset, I could tell, but...
I don't know. I mean, I'm not upset about it. It's just like, I could see them doing that.
Exactly.
But I feel like Becky is the deserving wrestler right now of the top spot. If you're going to give the top spot, you're going to have the undisputed champion. Give it to the man, Becky Lynch.
Well, she's going to beat Asuka, right? Like, Asuka's going to have a terrible title right now because she wins the title at TLC, never defends it.
See, like, I'm not sure she beats Asuka. Okay. I like your idea of the undisputed title and all this, but, like, I don't know if all that needs to happen.
Okay.
I could see Asuka beating Becky.
Wow.
And then Charlotte winning the Rumble.
Okay.
And challenging Ronda.
Right.
And then Becky winning some sort of match at the Elimination Chamber to find her way back into a triple threat with Charlotte and Ronda. Or getting physically involved with Charlotte and Ronda in a way where they both want Becky in the match because they want to get their hands on Becky. I don't think that Becky needs to win the SmackDown Women's title to be involved in the Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair triple threat match at WrestleMania. I think those three could wrestle for the Raw Women's title, and Asuka could defend the SmackDown Women's title against any number of people, including Carmella or Mandy Rose. Or...
Mandy Rose would be the number one choice, I would think.
Yeah.
I don't think you need that whatsoever, in my opinion. Maybe do a women's battle royal. They're going to do a women's battle royal, right? They do men and women's battle royal every year now at WrestleMania. That's all you need for another women's match. Maybe you can do a multi-women's tag. You're going to do a tag, right? Because they're going to have tag team titles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you don't need to do another women's title match. There's too many title matches, a pay-per-view, one of these mega pay-per-views they do. We have way too many championship matches. Let's get rid of some titles. You're adding a title, get rid of a title.
Well, you know, I suppose, but what about Asuka?
It sucks. What do you want me to tell you? I told you, Nakamura and Asuka, boom, right down the totem pole. It sucks, but that's what happened in a year's time.
Well, that's not very cool. What did Asuka do wrong? Asuka's tremendous. Everything she does is good. Why would you demote Asuka so much where you knock her out of the title picture and out of any kind of spot at WrestleMania?
Well, let's
like,
just face
are
it.
you really going to leave Asuka directionless now? She loses the title at the Rumble and like, oh, well, we'll figure out some match to throw Asuka in. She'll be in the Battle Royal. Maybe she'll win. That's Asuka's path now. That's where it goes. From having an incredible triple threat match with Charlotte and Becky in that TLC to losing the title at the Rumble and then just kind of disappearing. That's not right.
It's unfortunate.
That isn't how wrestling should work. How about earning things based on your talents? How about being rewarded for being one of the best wrestlers in the damn company? Like, what is that? I'd be very upset if Asuka just got disappeared right now. It's not right.
Well, look at the opening segment to SmackDown.
People like Asuka, man. Like, people were cheering for Asuka when, people want to see her succeed. When they disappeared her after the loss of Charlotte Flair at Mania last year, they completely demoted Asuka.
Right.
People were upset, and they're happy to see her back in the spotlight where she belongs. And now you're telling me they're just going to disappear her again? That's not cool.
So Becky should disappear? I don't know if that's going to happen.
No, I said, what did I say? Feature them both.
But
Asuka deserves to defend her title at WrestleMania. She deserves to have a title run that lasts longer than a month.
Was it even? I guess it was a little over a month.
She deserves more than that. Becky can wrestle Charlotte, can wrestle Ronda, triple threat for the Raw title. Give me something else. Don't even give the Royal Rumble to Charlotte Flair. Give it to Carmella. Or give it to Mandy Rose and have them challenge Asuka.
Wow. Mandy Rose going to win the Rumble?
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? Are you saying Mandy Rose doesn't deserve to win the Royal Rumble?
I would just be kind of surprised. I mean, Charlotte hyped up the fact that this is the first time she's ever been in the Rumble before in that kind of environment. So I feel like almost every match she's ever been the first time in, she usually almost always wins or is involved in the finish. So I feel like it's going to come down to her and Carmella, no?
Charlotte and Carmella?
I would think this would be the final two.
So let Carmella win. Mella is money. She's another one who deserves better. You can't make the whole division about Becky and Charlotte and Ronda. Because if Ronda's really going away, well, all you have is Becky and Charlotte. And, well, Becky just won, so, what do you really have? You got to build the rest of the division and keep it going somehow. By putting all your eggs in the Becky, Ronda, Charlotte basket, you're completely ignoring the rest of the crowd, and the rest of the crowd deserves better. Carmella had an incredible performance in that match with Becky and Charlotte a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. She looked very good. She was just as good as the other two in the match. She deserves to be there.
Okay, and when things get rearranged, because we're going to have women tag team titles, so like a women tag division, the rosters are not deep enough to have two single women's champions and tag team champions.
I disagree. The rosters are deep enough to have two singles women's champions and one set of tag team champions. They are deep enough. There are so many women that are not even being used.
Like,
where's Dana Brooke? Where's Mickie James? Where's Alicia Fox? They're barely on TV. Where's Sonya Deville? She doesn't get to wrestle on SmackDown. She's just Mandy Rose's backup.
Yeah, but she's always on SmackDown because of that.
Okay, barely. And there's more than that. Tamina, Nia Jax.
They find places enough.
But they could be on the show every week. Alexa Bliss is about to come back. She made that announcement. She's going to be in the Women's Rumble match. Alexa Bliss is a force in the WWE. You're going to tell me Alexa's coming back in the Rumble and she's not going to do something like maybe, say, win it?
It's not unheard of, right? But
she's been hurt and they've kept her on TV.
Right.
They've given her an interview segment. She's so important that they've kept her on TV while injured. And do that to Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn.
No, but Jericho used to do that. Okay, you're on TV.
Talking about the greatest wrestler of all time, Chris Jericho?
Well, he wasn't treated like the greatest wrestler of all time when he was in WWE.
Yeah, but he is, though. We know he.
But he wasn't treated like that in WWE. But he was always on TV because he was so damn entertaining that you had to use him.
Yeah, I think.
But he wasn't pushed.
I think they knew he was entertaining. That's why they kept him on TV.
But he wasn't used as a main event guy all the time.
No, but he did get used to carry the show.
and it's Alexa Bliss's comeback. Just her being in the Rumble, I think that's an accomplishment.
She could win. She could easily win and challenge Asuka.
Okay, sure. I think Becky winning is better.
Winning the Rumble?
Well, beating Asuka, I think at the Rumble should happen. And let's get rid of one championship.
No, I disagree.
Fine.
We'll see what happens. But, no, I don't want Charlotte to win the Rumble either. Like, I think she probably will because it's Charlotte and she hasn't won one. But, like, she could win next year. She could win the year after. She doesn't need everything. They give Charlotte everything.
Right?
It's too much.
Now they can give her this too.
Ugh.
She's got to be in the main event of WrestleMania. She's Charlotte.
Okay. So you think she's going to win the Rumble?
Oh, yes. She's going WrestleMania.
I'm going with Carmella.
Okay.
Or Alexa.
Fine. You have your Raw and SmackDown pick. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I got a Raw and SmackDown pick. Alexa on Raw, Carmella on SmackDown.
All I need is one.
So
Charlotte.
You're just taking Charlotte.
That's it. That's
Wow.
all you need.
Cocky. Give me your Raw and SmackDown pick for the men's Royal Rumble. I think our Raw pick is Seth Rollins.
Yeah, that's a given right there.
If a SmackDown guy's winning the Rumble, who's it going to be? Randy Orton?
Yeah, Randy would be great. I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah, I'd love for that to happen, yeah. AJ would be great too, but the way it works, I don't think if you're in a championship match this year, you can be in the Rumble.
Yeah, I think anybody that's in the title matches are then like disqualified from being in the Rumble. So we won't see Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks or Ronda Rousey or Asuka or Rusev or Nakamura. And maybe Rusev and Nakamura because it's a U.S. title and it's a pre-show. Maybe those guys.
Even Sheamus and Cesaro will probably be in the Rumble.
Finn Balor's going to lose to Brock Lesnar, right? But it should be a very good match. Should be a lot of fun.
It'll be fun to watch just to see what it's going to be like. And is it just going to be a squash, or is Finn actually going to get some offense in?
Finn looked good on Raw this week.
He did, so I imagine he's going to do something, but how much will it be? Daniel Bryan got at least a good 10 minutes or so. Is Finn going to get that, or even close to that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much they give Finn, but I think it'll probably be about 10 minutes. Nothing more.
I'd be surprised if it goes over 10 or even close to 10, actually. I'm 7, 8, but I think it will be a good 7, 8.
I'd say it'll be between 7 and 12 minutes.
All right.
12 minutes is like as long as there's no way it goes over 12 minutes.
I imagine there's some stalling if there's 12 minutes. But
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was pretty good. Like Finn was beating up Brock and Braun Strowman.
They made him look great, yeah.
Like he was like getting over on both of them, and then he winds up beating Braun when Brock just kind of had enough of it and hit Finn with the F5. Brock was ringside during that match this week on Raw. But they made Finn look like a main eventer, and he was convincing in being able to handle Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar at the same time. Like it looked good. Like he was moving around and he was hitting them with stuff, and it was like, oh yeah, it was all believable stuff, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It looked really good. Finn is very good. Like he's not given enough of these opportunities to show how good he really is. And then when he's given these kinds of spots where it's like, okay, go out there and look good and have, you know, these moments with Braun and Brock where you're not getting totally squashed and you have to sell for 20 minutes. You know, you can really see, oh, man, this guy's got something. There's fire there.
He's one of the best guys on Raw, without question. I mean, he should be the top guy on Raw, but unfortunately, the way things are working with Brock Lesnar, Brock's the guy, and it's not going to change.
When he gets rolling on offense, he can really get a crowd going, you know?
Yep.
Like, he is exciting to watch. When he starts building momentum and hitting move after move and doing things and flying around the ring, he's got great cardio. He's an incredible athlete. He doesn't stop, you know? He's got great fire, right?
100%. He's one of the best faces, I think, in all of WWE. In my opinion, they had many opportunities to make him the guy, and you could tell they had a feeling of this when they put the Universal Championship on him so quickly. It's just unfortunately he got hurt, and that really was the biggest setback for him, unfortunately.
But now he gets Brock, and then, I don't know, we'll see what he does at the Rumble. Maybe Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Like, what happens to Finn next, you know?
Well, I could definitely see them going towards Finn and Lashley. I mean, Lashley, I think, turned heel because of Finn, because they had a backstage interaction. So maybe this all comes full circle in a sense. And he couldn't beat, one UFC guy, but he could beat the Strikeforce Bellator guy instead.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Did you like the pose down between Apollo Crews and Bobby Lashley this week on Raw?
Wasn't as good as Scott Steiner versus Triple H, but I appreciate the effort.
Yeah. Apollo Crews is like a smaller version of Bobby Lashley. He's like just as jacked, just not as tall.
Well, that's it. I mean, the shoulder structure, it's not as quite there, but he got good arms.
He is super jacked, Apollo Crews.
Yeah. It's just Bobby's bigger,
Yeah, Bobby's just larger. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
They have the same muscles. They're both super jacked. And then they had a, little match that was all right. Bobby winds up beating Apollo with a spear and some interference from Leo Rush.
I imagine Bobby's going to be looking very impressive in the Rumble. I imagine he'll be in the final 6 at least, as long as he's in there later on. I mean, maybe he'll be one of the strong guys early, but he'll definitely be a force, I think, in the Rumble. He'll shine.
Yeah, he'll have his moments, but he won't win. What did you think about Vince McMahon talking about eating mushrooms on Raw this week? Heyman seemed shocked.
I don't get Vince sometimes. It doesn't make sense. Like,
He's like, let me tell you something, pal. Finn Balor, he's got no chance. This is like David and Goliath. But what you don't know is David ate a bunch of mushrooms before the battle. And I was like, and Heyman's like, mushrooms? Like, Heyman is even watching this in disbelief. It was a bizarre moment, but another classic Vince moment on Raw that I had to mention.
I first thought he meant like, is he thinking like Super Mario? Like,
I don't know what he's thinking.
I'm guessing that was the reference. I want to believe that's the reference because that's the only thing that would make sense for me with why he said it.
What's awesome is that as time goes on, he's getting older and older. So, like, he's just, like, deeper and deeper into his 70s. And, like, maybe he'll hit his 80s and still cut these promos on TV.
That'll be amazing.
And, like, he's a billionaire. And he's, like, just kind of nuts to begin with. And as he gets older, like, he knows less and less what he's saying, possibly. It's just, like, the ride of Vince McMahon is so crazy because you never know where it's going to go. And every week it's an adventure. I'm sure for the director and the producers and everybody around and the people in the ring that have to react to his promos, like, what the hell? Beef, pal. Last week he's talking about beef. This week he's talking about eating mushrooms. Like, what is going on?
He did make that AJ Daniel Bryan segment better than...
He seemed legit mad at Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Well, it was good, though. Like,
Bryan seemed legit mad at Vince.
It's good. It adds to the...
I felt it.
To the story.
I felt the heat between Bryan and Vince. Kind of more than between Bryan and AJ during that promo. That was an incredible promo. If you have not seen it, do yourself a favor and look it up on YouTube or whatever. It's everywhere. People were tweeting links to it on Twitter this week. It was a pretty big promo from Daniel Bryan. God, he's good. Okay. Buddy Murphy defending the Cruiserweight title against Akira Tozawa, Hideo Itami, and Kalisto in a fatal 4-way. Whoa. Ooh.
On the pre-show, though.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. That could steal the show. That's an incredible lineup. Kalisto, Itami, Tozawa, and Murphy. Fatal 4-way at the Rumble. Yes. That's good. That's good wrestling.
I imagine it'll be a very good match. It's the commercial breaks that they do during the pre-show. It might hurt it a bit, unfortunately.
Yeah. But that's a pretty sweet lineup.
It's very good.
That's the best they got.
It's too bad 205 it isn't featured more prominently in WWE because I don't know if it'll get a lot of reactions.
Okay. So we've given our predictions for the winners of the Rumble, right? Who did I predict?
You predict Carmella, I think, to win the women's?
Yeah, but what about the men's? I predicted Carmella
Seth.
to win the women's. You predicted Charlotte Flair. I predicted Carmella and Alexa.
Right.
And I took Seth and who did I take from SmackDown? The New Day?
Yeah.
I'm taking the New Day. even though probably not. And you're taking Seth and
Well,
more Seth.
Seth and I guess Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah. Your
Yeah.
boy. Of course, your boy. Okay, but here's what's more important. 19 of the 30 participants in the Men's Royal Rumble have been announced. That means we have 11 mystery men. Let's go through the guys that are in it, try and figure out who's not and who could be.
Okay.
So we have R-Truth, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kofi, Xavier, Seth, Jeff Hardy, who, like, where's he been?
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose, Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, Elias, Baron Corbin, Jinder Mahal, Apollo Crews, Andrade, formerly Andrade Cien Almas, now just Andrade. I like the Cien Almas, I don't know.
Me
Mustafa Ali, Rey Mysterio, Titus O'Neil, and Randy Orton. Hopefully Titus gets in the ring all right and doesn't fall down. Although maybe he'll fall down on purpose now and just make that a gimmick.
Yeah, I could see that.
Titus World Slide. So, 11 spots open. Anybody jumping out at you that'll definitely be in this thing? How about maybe Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins? They had a little deal where they reunited as a tag team on Raw this week. Maybe them. Maybe The Revival. You know, some of the tag teams that I don't see in this that aren't booked.
Right.
Those are 4 guys right off the bat, so we're down to 7.
It's the surprises that I want to see the most, right? These
Yes.
people I haven't seen in a long time.
Now, there are rumors that Abyss
Right.
and Sanjay Dutt are done with Impact Wrestling and are possibly headed to the WWE. Could we see the Great Abyss possibly make his WWE debut in the Royal Rumble, or even Joseph Park? I'm hoping Abyss. I'm hoping Abyss. Joseph Park, not so much.
Yeah,
Maybe as an authority figure down the road.
I feel Abyss. I think that's gonna I think it's gonna happen.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be able to use the name Abyss in WWE, and I think they'll go with that gimmick. Why not?
Yeah, why not? It's fine. And it gives them a monster, too, that they don't have because Lars isn't around, so it kind of fills that hole that they needed. Also,
Abyss could wrestle Cena at WrestleMania.
Right. But what about all the other NXT call-ups, like EC3? Like, is he going to be in the Rumble?
Oh, right. That would make sense for EC3 to be in there. Maybe those heavy machinery guys who made their Raw debuts this week. They wrestled... Who did they wrestle?
The Ascension.
Oh, yeah. They beat the Ascension, of course, those guys jobbing to the new ones. How long until heavy machinery is the Ascension?
A little bit longer than it took for the Ascension to become the Ascension, I think.
Yeah.
They seem like they have something, at least. Like,
Yeah. The one guy does. The other guy's just kind of there.
well, definitely, like, once...
The one guy did the worm, you know, what's his name?
Otis.
Otis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah, doing the worm, that was fantastic.
Yeah, he's cool. I like that guy. So they might be in it. But, like, as far as big surprises, the biggest surprise, the biggest, like, oh, my God, will be Abyss.
Well, The Rock would be the biggest surprise.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, though, right?
No.
Predict something big that could happen. Give me something.
Well,
you think The Rock is possible?
I think The Undertaker's possible, right?
I think The Undertaker's possible. Anybody else? Kenny Omega? Nope.
No.
Not happening.
Wasn't there a thing or something that one of the Young Bucks said, like, because unless he wants to, like, violate his contract or something, like...
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so that won't happen.
No Chris Jericho, no Kenny Omega, none of those guys.
It's unfortunate.
So maybe Abyss, as far as like outside the company that we haven't seen before, you know.
You know, Sami Zayn's trained at the Performance Center. I mean, that'd be cool.
Sammy and Kevin Owens would be amazing.
I don't know if Kevin's ready yet, but...
Sure. Sammy, though.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. I don't expect a lot of like huge shockers at the Rumble. I saw Matt Hardy said he's not retired, so...
Yeah, that'd be cool. Him and Bray Wyatt come back.
Bray Wyatt, too. I was actually wondering about him because JoJo, his girlfriend, who's the ring announcer for Raw, has been gone for a couple weeks, and Bray Wyatt's been off TV forever, seemingly not injured, just not around. I could see him being in the Rumble. Where's Bray?
Yeah, it's a great way to come back, is in the Rumble. But I also look for those, like... stars we haven't seen in like a long time. Like, wouldn't it be awesome to see like Jake the Snake in it?
I don't know if he's in shape to do that.
I know he's always wanted to do it, so I'd love to see him do it.
I doubt it. Stars we haven't seen in a long time. How about CM Punk?
I'm thinking more of people that want to do it. Like give Hogan a shot or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Although getting him over the top rope might be tough.
Yeah.
Just let him win. Just let him win,
yeah.
How about Stone Cold?
Yeah, Stone, I wish, but I don't think he wants to do it. So.
Yeah. How about Roman Reigns?
I don't think he can do it, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not yet, I guess. Not yet.
He's always the runner-up, too, in the Rumble, if you've noticed. Over the last couple of years, he's always number 2.
How about the Women's Rumble? Right now we have 23 of the 30 participants. Official: Carmella, Ember Moon, Natalya, Bayley, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, Alicia Fox, Zelina Vega, Naomi, Mickie James, Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, The Iconics, Charlotte Flair, Tamina, Dana Brooke, Lana, Nia Jax, Nikki Cross, Alexa Bliss, and Lacey Evans. I guess this will be her in-ring debut on the main roster. Lacey Evans, gotten a little promo on Raw this week, but hasn't wrestled, so she'll be in the ring for the Rumble. There are rumors that just before we get to the women's again, I remembered, what's his name? Velveteen Dream is rumored to possibly be in the Royal Rumble, which would be pretty cool.
Well, we usually get that, like an NXT, like random surprise. Doesn't mean that they're on Raw or SmackDown, but they're in it. Like Andrade was in.
Yeah, maybe Velveteen or Ricochet or something like that.
Maybe even Aleister Black. It's possible, something like that.
Yeah. So the Women's Rumble, we have 7 people, 7 spots open. I could see some, legends from the past, like Trish Stratus or Lita.
Right, Michelle McCool.
We had a lot of legends last year.
Half of it was legends.
Yeah, this year, not as many spots open for them, right?
But that's probably best because I think you want to generate new stars and put focus on new stars instead of always relying on the past. Because nostalgia is fun, but if it just becomes a nostalgia act every year, it's not as fun.
Is there anybody that you'd like to see, a big surprise, something? Beth Phoenix?
I thought Ivory and Alundra Blaze were pretty good, so I'd like to see them again.
That'd be cool.
I think Beth Phoenix is on the pre-show commentating team.
So she could
with
be
Shawn.
in the Rumble.
Well, Shawn Michaels going to be in the Rumble?
Maybe.
Okay, yeah, Shawn Michaels is in the building, so that's fun.
Throw him in the Rumble, why not? Be fun. And then number 1 in the Rumble, it's Jinder Mahal. Number 2, it's Shawn Michaels. Oh my God, it's Shawn Michaels. That'd be tremendous. I would love that. And then Shawn's in the Rumble for like 20 or 30 minutes. He gets tossed out eventually by like Braun Strowman. Shawn has a little run in the Rumble. It's fun. It makes the Rumble better. They should put Shawn Michaels in the Rumble. They've got 11 open spots. Put Shawn in there. He's fun.
You put Shawn in there, he's not going to win? I'm surprised by that.
He's just in there to be in there. They used to do that, bring old legends into the Royal Rumbles. You knew they weren't going to win, but they were in there anyways, like super old guys. You remember that?
Shawn's not that kind of guy.
Back in the early 90s, they used to have all sorts of random guys in the Royal Rumble.
Shawn's not that kind of guy. If Shawn's in there, Shawn should be winning or close to winning.
Come on.
Because that's a great opponent for Daniel Bryan.
Ric Flair would go in the Rumble when he was older, and he wouldn't win.
Ric Flair loves the money. Shawn doesn't need the money.
All right. So, Alundra Blaze would be cool. I don't know who they're going to shock us with for the Women's Rumble.
It's really hard to shock us at this point. I mean, Awesome Kong would be, in my opinion, the only big shock. But I feel like it's still a lot of burnt bridges there.
Yep. I think the shocker is going to come with the winner. I think a lot of people are expecting Charlotte, including yourself.
100%.
And I think it'll be somebody other than Charlotte. Could be Alexa, could be Carmella, could be Mandy Rose, but I don't think it's going to be Charlotte Flair.
Not the Bellas.
No, probably not the Bellas. Although they might be in it. I can see Nikki Bella being in it.
Sure, fine.
All right, well, we'll find out at the Royal Rumble tomorrow, and then we'll be here to recap it on our YouTube channel. Go to our youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. youtube.com/ringsidereport.net is the YouTube channel. We're going to be live, Johnny and I, with you on video, talking to you, hearing your thoughts about the Royal Rumble. As soon as the Rumble's over, go to our YouTube channel. More info on our website, WrestlingUncensored.net. And you can follow along. We'll be on Twitter, live tweeting during the entire Royal Rumble. Follow me at Dave Simon MMA on Twitter and Instagram. It's the same handle, at Dave Simon MMA on Twitter and Instagram. Johnny North is at North Genesis on Twitter, at Genesis Johnny North on Instagram. And just before we go, Johnny North, when can people see you next in the ring?
February 17th, I'm wrestling Drew Onyx, defending the NWA British Commonwealth Heavyweight Championship. It's a no disqualification match. 4325 Industrial Boulevard. Bell time 2 p.m.
I'm calling it the 3 days after St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
I feel like it's almost the same date, isn't it? Or wasn't it the 18th? I feel St. Valentine's Day Massacre was.
Well, yeah, but February 14th is Valentine's Day. So.
Pay-per-view was.
Yeah, but
the 18th.
Okay. So go to John's Twitter at North Genesis.
Sucker.
WrestlingUncensored.net is our website. Yeah.
Yeah.